This is CD4Peace.
A heatwave in Antarctica early in March was so extreme that it may be the largest temperature increase above normal ever recorded, according to Robert Rody, lead scientist at the non-profit Berkeley Earth, who analysed global records. This is Samantha, and welcome to the 4 Minutes for Peace podcast series. In this episode, we will be delving into another aspect of what we work here at CD4Peace, which is sustainable development. Stay tuned to know more about climate change. This event is completely unprecedented and has upended our expectations about the Antarctic climate system. Instead of temperatures being around -45 or -51 degrees Celsius, they've been closer to -18 or -12 degrees Celsius. But that's a massive heat wave by Antarctic standards. The average high temperature in Vostok, at the center of the eastern ice sheet, is around -53 degrees Celsius in March. But on March 11th, the temperature leapt to -17.7 Celsius, the warmest it's been there during March since record-keeping began 65 years ago. It broke the previous monthly record by a staggering 15 degrees Celsius. Such temperature anomalies have been considered impossible and unthinkable in the past. Warm conditions over Antarctica were spurred by an extreme atmospheric river, or a narrow corridor of water vapor in the sky on its east coast. The moisture from the storm diffused and spread over the interior of the continent. However, a strong buckling high-pressure system, or heat dome, moved in over East Antarctica, preventing the moisture from escaping. The heat dome was exceptionally intense, 5 standard deviations above normal. The excessive moisture from the atmospheric river was able to retain large amounts of heat, while the liquid-rich clouds radiated the heat down to the surface, known as downward long-wave radiation. In Antarctica, it can be difficult to know what's normal or expected. Temperatures can seesaw wildly. The continent has relatively few weather stations, and satellite observations only stretch back about 40 years. The fingerprint of climate change hasn't emerged clearly in this region as it has elsewhere in the world. This does fit into a broader pattern we're seeing of these extreme weather events that break our notion of what we think could happen in our climate system, said Jonathan Will, a postdoctoral researcher at the University Grenoble Alps, comparing the event's surprising nature to the 2021 flooding in Germany and the heat dome in the Pacific Northwest that shattered temperature records. Changes in Antarctica will affect global climate profoundly, slowing down major ocean circulation pathways, skewing air temperatures around the world, and somewhat surprisingly, making the climate more variable from year to year. This can lead to more floods and other natural disasters, which could subsequently lead to more climate displacement. Polar vortexes, increased heat waves, and unpredictability of weather caused by ice loss are already causing significant damage to crops on which global food systems depend. This instability will continue to mean higher prices for everyone and growing crises for the world's most vulnerable. Everyone can help limit climate change, from the way we travel to the electricity we use and the food we eat. We can make a difference.
Four Minutes for Peace, podcast produced by CD4Peace, Cultural Diversity and Sustainable Development for Peace, organization established in Geneva since 2018.